Wunderlich a little high, and he has left the 610. And although he's got to be elated at his first victory, he's struggling a little bit, as you suggested he might, on these very oily lanes.
He is. He's trying to make the ball do something that he wasn't doing in practice. He's actually helping the ball a little more than he normally does, getting on the side of the ball more than he normally does, and he's getting more back end for that reason. In other words, the ball's hooking very sharply on the back.
Previous best finish in this event was back in '84. Finished 10th here.
The Frame Pro with wireless One Connect box.
Now you'll get a look at George Branham III, his first career championship round appearance. His best previous finish was 8th in the '86 Greater LA Open. Opening with a strike. He's 24 years old, from Arleta, California, second year on the tour. High game this week at 278. George on the TV pair, averaging a very nifty 251.5.
Oh, what? Yeah, that is unbelievable there, Jay. That's tremendous bowling, especially on this pair, because most of the bowlers have struggled a little bit on this pair this week. As you can see, George has a lot of talent and a unique position he's in today, Jay. He could be the first black bowler to ever win on the PBA Tour. We've had a lot of fine bowlers that have had the opportunity, black bowlers, but they haven't done it yet. George could be the first. I'd like to see that. Again, Steve being bothered by something off to his right. I believe one of the cameras is moving a little bit.
Moving before he bowls, and he was bothered earlier and now is hampered again by it.
Steve doesn't seem to have his concentration as well today as he's had in the past, Jay, and that could be part of his problem why he's not making the shots as well as he has in the past on television. As we mentioned, he's been on the air 17 times in his career. As you look at Cindy Wunderlich, his wife, and she looks a little tentative also. But Steve just doesn't seem to be concentrating as well as normal.
That's looking better, and he seems to have things going finally over there on 22.
I think the wives suffer more than the bowlers. The bowlers are out there, they're in action, they're competing. The wives have to sit there and just pray something good happens. And I think there's a lot more mental stress on the ladies sitting there waiting for their husband or their fiance to perform than there is on the bowler himself.
Wunderlich in the TV finals 4 times last year. This is 4th appearance this year. So strikes in the 2nd and 3rd for Wunderlich. Branham is working on a double. Branham has won 2 regional titles, the most recent last October in Bakersfield, California. Got a pretty good break there. It looked like he might be left with the bucket as he came up a little short. He's left the 2-4.
George throws one of the more powerful balls on the tour. He has really fine form, good leverage, a little off balance on that one. He kind of fell off to the right, and he didn't get the finish he wanted on the shot that he's been getting. Got the break, got an easier spare than it looked like, and covers it quite well.
The Brunswick Memorial World Open scoreboard, match 2. Wunderlich, a winner over Holman, going against Branham here. 6 top 24 finishes this year for George Branham III. His father, George, bowls at about 190 average. So is his brother, Richard. And Branham leaves the 9 pin.
He looked like he lost his footing a little bit on that shot at the foul line, like he didn't, like the slide either stuck or slipped or something. And you watch George go to the foul line. This is the previous shot. And again, he's a little bit off balance, and he pulled the ball across over his target.
Branham and Wunderlich going at it. Back with more of match 2 right after this.
While we were away, Steve Wunderlich struck on lane 22 again for 3 in a row. Spared with a good solid shot on lane 21, leaving the 10-pin, covered the spare. He now has a 12-pin lead over George Branham III, with George coming up on lane 22, 5th frame.
Joe Antonora here from Akron, Ohio, joining us this week, the PBA commissioner.
He must be doing a good job, Jay. They just gave him an extension on his contract.
He must be. That's right there for Branham. Striking the 5th for George.
Something unique in this event, other than the format, which is 56 games as opposed to our normal 42-game format, Jay. This is a 56-game event because it's a major championship, as the PBA National Championship is, things like that. What I was talking about unique is the bowlers have drilled a number of new balls for this tournament. The field has drilled over 400 new balls for this event.
Oh, that shows you that the conditions have been unusual this week.
The conditions have been unusual. They've been difficult at times and very easy at times, but the bowlers are drilling new bowling balls to combat the amount of oil on the lanes.
Chairman of the board of the Brunswick Corporation, of course, Brunswick instrumental in bowling being admitted to the Olympics as an exhibition sport in '88. Jack Reichert here, watching Wunderlich now on 22. Wunderlich leaves the 4-pin. He had really gotten it going over there on 22. He didn't strike over there until the 10th frame of his first match.
When he had to do it, he sure performed well, though, didn't he, Jay? Got the big double in the 10th to defeat Marshall Holman in the first match.
I think he was over the line, a foul.
Did he foul?
I will look to Harry Golden to indicate it, but I believe so. Harry Golden, our tournament director. And, yep.
Yes, he definitely fouled.
Definitely went over the line there.
Very unusual occurrence for the professional bowlers. That very seldom happens unless there's really something unusual about the approach. Steve just looked like he was trying to throw the ball hard, lost his coordination, his timing, and slid over the foul line. What a big break for George Branham.
Well, he comes back with a strike, although early appeared to have a little trouble at the line again there. Maybe he's had a problem with one of those shoe bottoms. We'll come back. Wunderlich is down by 10, and you see him working on the shoe. There's Arnie Fogel, who will be handing out the first place check of $33,000 a little later on.
While we were away, George Branham on lane 22 left the 10-pin on a good hit, covered the spare, came back with a strike on lane 21. Steve Wunderlich on a strike, going into the 8th frame, chance to take the lead back. Steve just seems lost out there, Jay. He doesn't really seem to be bowling with a lot of confidence. He's not making the kind of shots he would make in this situation normally. You can see his concentration looks good, but he just doesn't seem to have the balance and the speed. Remember how firm he normally is with the ball. He seems to be a little soft today with the shot.
Well, Wunderlich seemed to be struggling in the first match, and then of course in that 9th frame he cut that 4-10 split down, and you see he's still working on the shoe there. The fault here in this match had to be a bit unnerving for him, and now he's got to try to gather himself one more time.
He does, and again we're running out of frames. This is Steve Wunderlich again on lane 21, 9th frame, down by 9 pins.
it went down for him. That 7-pin was a little reluctant.
A little slow, but he got it, and that's a key shot. Now, he can still strike out on the 10th for 227. George Branham going at a 216 clip. As you see, Steve, look at the tremendous lift he puts on the ball right at the end, the good leverage. The 5-pin dances across the lane, just enough to nudge out the 7.
Branham, who struck in the 8th, strikes back here in the 9th.
Very similar to the kind of strikes Marshall Holman was throwing on lane 22. Marshall had 3 strikes consecutively on lane 22, almost the identical hit that you saw George Branham carry right there. Now, with this strike, George Branham could lock out Steve Wunderlich. 10th frame, first ball on the 10th frame for George Branham. Again, Jay.
Branham. Well, a big, big game for George Branham III, our winner.
Well, George is to the point now, as you see that style, and he likes the shot. He's just hoping he gets the break off the wall. Watch the ball rotate. Very sharp break on the back end. Head pin goes to the wall, comes back, kicks out the 4-7. He stays behind the foul line. He's a winner. Keep the ball on the lane. Here's your winner.
That's all, Tim.
So Wunderlich will take 4th place, $7,000. And George Branham III, the winner of this second match, will be moving into action in just a moment against Ryan Schaefer.
If you like and subscribe.